besties, today's project is this X twist headband. This has to be the easiest project I have ever made, so I highly recommend it to those that are new to crochet because it's not going to take you time and the pattern is so easy. The crochet girlies already know that once a project is taking too long, you're not going to want to continue it if you're just starting. So I'm really excited to see you guys make this. So you're just going to need your yarn. I used two balls of yarn at the same time because my yarn is really thin, but you can use one ball of yarn if you don't want it to be thick. Then you're going to need your crochet hook. I used a 4.5mm crochet hook. Then you're going to need your darning needle to sew in the loose ends and to do the finishing of the headband. Then you're also going to need your pair of scissors. So we're going to start by taking your yarn. I used my two balls of yarn like this, so I just pulled the strands out at the same time like this because I wanted it to be quite stiff. So after you get your yarn, we're going to make a slip knot to begin. So you take it like this, then you turn it to form an X like this, then you pull it. So this will give you a slip knot. Then you take your crochet hook. As I said, I use a 4.5mm crochet hook. Then you chain the length you want the headband to be. So I made 15 chains, but you can make yours as long as you want it to be. This is how to make a chain. So I've made 3 chains. This is my 4th, and now my 5th, then my 6th. So as you can see, I took the yarn together so that it won't be so that one thread won't be out and the other would be in. So you just continue doing this till you think the headband is going to be long enough for you. 13th, 14th, and now the 15th chain. So when you finish making your chains, this is what it's going to look like. So this is the front and this is the back of the chains. So now we're going to turn our work around so that we can make single crochets to form the second row. So you skip the first chain, and in the second chain you make a single crochet in the middle like this. So these are first single crochet. So let's make the second single crochet. So you insert your hook, then you pull up a loop. So with 2 loops on your hook, so you pull through the 2 loops. Then let's go to the third single crochet, pull up a loop, then you pull through the 2 loops on your hook. The next one, so you try not to skip any chain, you just keep going into them like this with a single crochet. So now we're close to the end. So this is the final chain. So we make a single crochet in it like this, just before the slip knot. So this was after I made all the single crochets. So this is what yours is going to look like. And you chain one and you turn your work around. Then we're going to make single crochets into both loops of every chain on the other row. So I want to show you clearly where we insert our hook. So like that. Then you make a single crochet into it like this. So this is the second single crochet and the third. If you want to make yours in just a back loop, it will also come out really nice. It will have a ribbed look like a beanie. So feel free to do that too if you want to. I wanted to show you the front and the back in the previous clip. So now I'm just making my single crochets. So this is what I really love about this pattern. It's very repetitive. So even a beginner can learn this pattern really well and know how to crochet to a large extent. So over here I'm just making my single crochets. So this is the final single crochet for this row. So I want to show you clearly where we're going to insert the hook. Now we'll make the single crochet, then chain one, and we make single crochets on the next row. So we just continue making single crochets on each row. Then when you get to the end, you chain one till we're through with it. This is the final single crochet for this row. So this is what the pattern is going to look like. So we're just going to repeat this all around till we're able to take it around our head when stretched. So this was when I was through crocheting the headband. So I made sure that it was just tight enough for my head. I even made it quite tight so that if it gets loose, it won't be too loose on my head. So now after I finished, I wanted to show you how I ended it. So this is the final single crochet, and you chain one, and okay, over here I'm showing you how I did my final row. So you just chain one and you continue with your single crochets like this. I think when I recorded it, I didn't want to any confusion. I wanted you guys to be very clear with what happened at the end. So this was when I was making my final row of single crochets. This is the final single crochet. Then you chain one and you pull a long strand of the yarn so that we can use it to finish it up. So I took the two balls of yarn at the same time. Then you take your pair of scissors and you cut it like this. And you pull the other side away. So when you have your long strand of yarn, we are going to tighten it at the bottom like this. So this is my headband. Now I want to close off the front so that it can form the X. If there's another way that I used to finish off my headband one other time, I made like a bow in front. I think I'll record it as a wrap or something like that sometime in the future. But this one is specifically the X twist. So you take your two sides. I want to demonstrate how we fold it. So you just take the two sides like this. So you just take it halfway through, something like this. Just take it, yeah. Then you're going to sew the middle down. So I'm going to get my darning needle so I can put it through the yarn and sew it. So over here I'm just inserting the yarn into the darning needle. So it's time to sew it. So we're also going to do this sewing at the back so that the front will be where the twist will be. So if you have it desired front and back, you can choose that when you want to sew it. So you take your darning needle and you go through the four of the layers at once, like this. You're going to be very careful so that they all align and you don't go too far in. You just take your time when doing this part. So this is after I inserted my darning needle. I just checked to make sure everything was there. Then you go back in to the next one. You want to space the sewing a bit. Then the next. You also want to make sure that it is quite tight so that it won't unravel later on. So you finish it up till the end. You don't sew in the edge, you just sew that middle part like this. So I went back in to the other side so that it was going to be extra secure. I'm just going over it till I finish it at the other side. So just end it. So I tightened it. I just made sure that it was strong enough. So as you can see, those two edges are going to be open because we're going to sew it together like this. So I'm going to show you that shortly. So this is how we're going to sew it in. This is what is going to give you that X effect. So we'll sew it like that. You can see it. So I took my darning needle and I want to begin sewing it. So you join it together like that and you sew it in together. So you pull your yarn. So you're just going to sew in the opposite ends till we go round it. So here I'm just putting my yarn back in. so that it won't unravel later. So I made a knot like this. I was just checking if it was forming right. I made another knot. Then I took my pair of scissors to cut it off. So over here, I want to do the other side. So you insert your darning needle, and then you just sew that loose end. So I'm just trying to tuck it in so that it won't unravel. I'm just checking the X to make sure it is intact. So I made a knot before I cut it off. So now I'm done with the headband. So you just fold it to the front, and this is what it's going to look like when you're through. I really love the pattern, and I just love how it looks when you're through with it. So you can just wear it on your head and just accessorize. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial as much as I did, because this was just such a lovely project to make, and I will be wearing this headband a whole lot. Till next time, bye. Feel free to watch the other tutorials on my channel. Right now, I'm actually trying to be very consistent on here, so you're going to be seeing a lot more videos coming soon. So I love you guys. Bye.